Hi everyone!
Happy Black Friday, by the way.
We're not out shopping today. The roads are pretty busy already. So it's been a while since we released a video. I think probably like a month. We've taken a little break.
Yeah, we haven't been out camping for a while, so we haven't really filmed anything. It's just the weather just hasn't been particularly nice. Been dreary and wet actually, and warm, but dreary, wet and warm.
Yeah. And so Gordon actually not too long ago went and we winterized our van.
Which is kind of a sad day.
It is a sad day. So in terms of winterizing, it's a little bit more challenging for people like us because we live in a big city. So we thought it might be a good opportunity to talk about what it's like and the realities of actually owning an RV. If you live in a big city, there's a few more challenges. It's still worth it, but we thought we'd take the opportunity to just chat really briefly about that. And also Gordon has some footage to share from a recent hike up to Mount Seymour, which is a local mountain here. So we hope you enjoy this video.
So obviously one of the first things, if you're not able to keep your RV at your home, is you're going to have to find storage. And that can be challenging. Storage locations are rare anywhere in sort of the larger centers, so you have to go farther and farther out. And then there's costs. I've seen storage rates range from as little as $100, which is very rare, to something over $300 a month. So I guess it's something like if you have a boat and you have to have mooring fees in that sense. But that can certainly add up over the course of the time that you own an RV.
Yeah, I think for us, we had a place which was maybe about 20 minutes away initially. And then the lot, I guess, went up for sale. So we had to switch to another storage lot. But that actually worked out quite well this time because there's an ability there to be able to wash the van because they have water. And it's more of a gravel parking lot.
It's a little farther away. It probably adds about another 7-minute drive. So, you know, it's 25, 27 minutes each way if we go there. As Mickey said, though, we have a little bit more accessibility in the sense that we have access to water, so we can wash the van or we can fill up our water tank before we start on a trip. But, you know, that kind of raises the other issue. Anytime you actually want to do something, it's a little bit more limited to doing maintenance. You know, our storage lot isn't particularly easy to work in. Basic stuff, yeah, it's fine. But if you want to get under the van or you've forgotten to bring the tools that you want to work on what you're trying to do, it just becomes a little bit more problematic. Again, you can work around it. And often with a lot of issues, you know, we'll just take our van into an RV repair place anyway, in large part because I'm not necessarily gifted at doing a lot of the RV repair work.
Not handy.
Yeah, and honestly, sometimes I just don't have the patience for it. So we'll go to a couple different places that we trust and they'll do some work. But it would be nice if we were, you know, closer to home sometimes because you could just walk in and out. And if you had forgotten a wrench or need an extra something, you know, it would be there. Now, having said that, our van has a fairly comprehensive list of different tools in the van, and we have a toolkit we take with us, and I think we have probably rolls of just about every possible kind of tape, seal leaks, seal electrical outlets, all sorts of things. So.
And it's also handy to have friends that have a big property which you can, you know,
Yes.
borrow and they'll let us work on their property. We, in particular, we have Pete and Alex.
Pete and Alex, who you may recall a previous video where Pete and I talked about the process of replacing our water pump, and we did it over his property. They have lots of room and a covered garage, so that just made everything a lot easier. So that's just some of the challenges, you know, added to the distance, cost, just a little more awkward. Even when we're going away on a trip and coming back on a trip, there's however you do it. If we bring the van here and load it up, or if we take everything and take it over there and load it up, it's just not as easy as obviously walking in and out of your home that some people would have the ability to do.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more planning that way and packing, packing things and hauling things. And, you know, you have a pet, you have to bring their things.
If you have to have your RV somewhere else, it's a bit of a second step.
Yeah, so you actually have to consider, adding in that extra time if you're in a rush to get somewhere.
Yeah, I don't really know if there's any pluses, but where we are now, the fees are reasonable, and like I said, we did have the ability to access water, which is nice. The interesting thing too is it's not uncommon to have other people that have an RV, whether that's a motorhome or a trailer, working on their RV when you're there. And I think I've helped out on a couple of jobs that people have been doing. Sometimes literally it was just holding up a light because it had gotten dark and folks couldn't see some of the work they were doing. So having a second pair of hands was helpful. I know I've had a couple of people give me assistance if I was doing something on the van and I just needed a second set of eyes or a second set of hands. So that's actually kind of a nice thing. That's a bit of plus.
Yeah, you get to know your neighbors, and RVers are in general very helpful people.
Yeah, we found that.
Definitely worth it if you're considering getting an RV. Sure, there's a few more steps, but just the ability to get out of the city and enjoy nature, and I don't think we would think twice about doing it again.
I think you just, again, need to factor in the additional cost, which I think most people anticipate, but it's also just being aware that it adds extra time into every trip that you do. So it just set, as I say, one extra step that might slow you down in doing what you want to do.
Yeah, so we hope you found that discussion a little bit useful. RVing is such a different way of traveling versus flying or driving somewhere in your car. So the experiences are completely different, and we've been to some amazing places, even locally or within your own province or state, and it's just wonderful. So
yeah, we've gone to many more places than we would have otherwise. And I'm going to say we actually maybe enjoyed life a little more slowly as a result of doing it via an RV, which is kind of nice.
So that's it for our discussion. We'd love it if you could share some of your experiences if you live in a big city and you own an RV.
Yeah, so hopefully you found that of interest. And now we just share a short trip I did about a week ago up to Mount Seymour, which is a local mountain. It's actually, I think, a faster drive there than it is to get to our storage lot. And it's nice because we're lucky we live in a city where you can access a mountain range that goes just a little under, I guess, a little under 5,000 feet, 4,500 feet, something in that range very quickly. And I just went up to one of its 3 peaks, which is called First Peak or sometimes Pump Peak. Very nice. There was no snow, which surprised me because I'd been up about a week before. There'd been some, but it's been so warm and wet that it had melted. There was some snow, but it was just in the parking lot and they were making it. It was a wonderful little trip, nice views. And hope you enjoy. And I will say one thing, the last couple of days it has finally started to snow. There's about 25 centimeters of snow up there. So things will change, and those of you that are skiers, I'm sure will have something to look forward to very soon.
Yeah.
And that's First Peak up there, just behind that ridge, a little bit higher. What that sign doesn't say, yes, it's 500 meters, but what it doesn't say is it's pretty much all uphill. It's a nice workout. That second peak over there, third peak's on the other side, and it's a little bit higher. Can't see it though.
All right, I hope you enjoyed sharing that hike with me. Our next video we hope to have out in December is actually going to be our annual best trips of, in this case, 2025.
Yeah, it's going to be our best campgrounds and where we stayed during the year. And this time it's going to have a little bit of a twist.
Yeah, we're actually going to have 4 kind of guest hosts with us, and they're going to be sharing their favorite spots for 2025 as well.
Yeah, so we wanted to add a little bit of different perspective. So we hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. And we and Finch,
Who's sitting in the window enjoying the sun.
we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.